Hello and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. And now we'll start this interesting edition of our program with some news from the African continent, and we start from Egypt as Cairo sent two planes carrying manufactured bakeries to flood-stricken Sudan. And of course, this is not the first time for Egypt to send humanitarian aids to Sudan. Now we'll have a look in this report on more details about this issue.
The armed forces on Monday dispatched two military planes carrying bread-producing facilities to Khartoum. The bakeries are intended to help ease the country's ongoing bread shortage, which is due in part to severe flooding that began in July. Egyptian technicians accompanying the bread production lines will train Sudanese teams to efficiently use the equipment according to operating standards. The Egyptian and Sudanese teams will install the bakeries in Sudan's most affected areas. In September, Cairo sent multiple planes loaded with large quantities of food and medical supplies to Sudan, as well as a team of 20 physicians, nurses, and epidemic control specialists to help the Sudanese people facing the disaster. Sudan's devastating floods began when continuous heavy rainfall caused the Nile River to reach its highest level in over a century. The Sudanese government declared a nationwide state of emergency over the flooding and quickly formed a crisis response committee to help mitigate its impact. The country's flood crisis has left 102 people dead, dozens injured, and over 100,000 homes destroyed.
And to shed more light on this issue, I joined over the phone by Mr. Salah Abdallah. He is a political analyst. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Salah. So, as we've just heard in this report that Egypt has sent humanitarian aid to flood-stricken Sudan. So, sir, how do you see the significance of this move by Egypt? Yes, Mr. Salah, can you hear me? Sudan, and Egypt actually has sent more than 197 tons of food and relief aid to both Sudan and South Sudan in coordination with Egyptian civil society organizations. And to shed more light on this issue, I joined by Mr. Salah Abdallah. He is a political analyst. Yes, Mr. Salah. Mr. Salah? Yes, sir. Yes.
Of course, Egypt and Sudan is the one country. Although we have two systems, but we are one country, one people. That's why what happened in Sudan is usually have a great effect in Egypt. And usually the Egyptian find that any problem in Sudan is their own problem. That's why this was clear in the last crisis when the floods, hit the Sudan, and there was millions of people was away from their own houses, and thousands of people was destroyed. Egypt was the first country to send services and goods and help to Sudan, either in the way of a medical support or food support or some lines for producing the bread, because the bread was one of the major problems in this crisis. Of course, the aeroplanes are going from Egypt to Sudan frequently, and if you look, you will find that the highest number of aids to Sudan is from Egypt. We didn't consider that we are helping another country. We are consider ourselves one country and one part of our country is suffering. That's why we are doing all that. Of course, the government are doing their own best for that, but also the people in Egypt, especially the civilian constitutions, have to play a role in this matter. Of course, the President Sisi, his orders and instructions was very clear in that all the facilities will go to Sudan, and we will have to do our best to decrease the suffering and the problem in Sudan as much as we can.
So, Mr. Salah, to what extent Egypt has succeeded in regaining its pivotal role in the African continent?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I'm telling you to what extent Egypt has succeeded in regaining its pivotal role in the African continent.
Yes, I'm telling you
In the African continent.
Egypt has succeeded in regaining pivotal role in the
Well, of course, Egypt was reaching a static situation in the relation of the African countries. There was some activity, but is not enough. But with the active role of President Sisi towards Africa, Egypt regained most of the good relations with the African countries. And you find activities here and there in many, many other countries. If you look to Tanzania as example, you find that we are building a dam in Tanzania. If you look to South Sudan, we are playing a great role in helping the economy in South Sudan and playing a role in the peace in South Sudan. If you go to North Sudan, I think it is clear what's happening since the crisis up till now, a great help we are doing for Sudan. So Egypt succeeded in having an active role, return to the active role of Egypt in Africa. And I think this starts with the era of President Al-Fattah al-Sisi, because before that it was a period of static relation. There was a relation going, as we said, automatic relation, but without activity. But now the role is very active. We have a good relation. Our companies are working in many African countries, and we're hoping by this process we can spread our activity in most of the African countries.
Okay, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Salah Abdallah, political analyst. Thank you for being with us.
Okay, thank you.
And back to our news from the African continent, and the French members of parliament were voting on the possible restitution of art and cultural treasures to Senegal and Benin. The artifacts were taken during the looting of the Abomey Palace by the French in 1892. Here is the full story.
The French Parliament voted on Tuesday on the possible restitution of art and cultural treasures to Senegal and Benin. The 26 items of the Bihanzine treasure taken during the looting of the Abomey Palace by the French in 1892 are displayed at the Quai Branly Jacques Chirac Museum in Paris, but they could soon be sent back to Benin. Senegal could be given back the sabre and sheath of El Hadj Omar Tall, a famous West African military and religious figure from the 19th century. They are the property of the Army Museum in Paris and are currently displayed at an exhibition in Dakar as a long-term loan. During his Ouagadougou visit in 2017, French President Emmanuel Macron promised to rethink the cultural partnership between France and its former African colonies. The French Culture Minister has said that the vote is a new chapter in the cultural link between France and African countries. But to the president of Benin, Patrice Talon, the restitution is too limited and too slow. Talon said that France has taken small steps, but that giving back the 26 artworks is the bare minimum. He wants a general law allowing for the global restitution of items based on a detailed inventory.
And we move to sports news from the African continent, and Algeria will defend an 18-match unbeaten run when the leading African national teams return to action this week after 10 months of inactivity due to coronavirus pandemic. Here is the full story.
Reigning African champions Algeria faced Nigeria and Austria on October 9 and Mexico in the Netherlands on October 13, ahead of the November resumption of the 2021 Cup of Nations qualifying. Algeria are among 18 of the top 20 ranked countries in the continent who will play 1 or 2 international friendly matches, with many being staged in Europe. The Desert Foxes, who defeated Senegal in Cairo last July to become African champions a second time, last lost in October 2018 away to Benin. They have won 15 competitive and friendly matches and drawn 3 since, with the victories including a thrashing of Colombia in France. Cup of Nations winning coach Jamil Belmadi has called up 24 stars, with Manchester City winger Riyad Mahrez the captain and talisman. The match against Nigeria is a repeat of a dramatic 2019 Cup of Nations semi-final won by a Mahrez thunderbolt free kick in stoppage time. Algeria then edged Senegal 1-0 in the final. Nigeria also played twice, meeting another powerful North African side, Tunisia, in Austria 4 days after tackling the Algerians. The game with Tunisia is also a repeat of a 2019 Cup of Nations encounter with Nigeria, winning the third-place playoff 1-0 thanks to an Odion Igalo goal.
By that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Africa Today. Thank you for watching.